Hey fantastic people, welcome to the first video on F1ntastic Gaming. Yes, this is the first video on the channel. Today's going to be a tribute to the German Grand Prix since the German Grand Prix is out of this year's calendar. Not just the revised calendar, but the normal calendar. This also means it won't be the new game, so I just wanted to say goodbye to this track and to this game. We're going to have a one-shot qualifying, so just one lap, and we're going to have a 100% race. We're going to be racing as Nico Hulkenberg in his Renault, and let's get into qualifying. We're going to start our lap, and okay, I guess we're not going to start the lap. Actually, the only reason I did one-shot qualifying was so that I have control and I can start at the back of the grid for the race. We go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. We get a good start, much better start than the Williams cars. As we try to go down the middle, we try not to get boxed in as we brake, and we barely miss the racing point. We're up into P17, and we get on the grass a little bit there as we try to make a move down both the Alfa Romeos and Danny Kvyat into turn 3, and now we're going to turn 4 as we get on the power for the main straight. Actually, not the main straight, but the long straight, as we power past Pierre Gasly using hot lap ERS, although that does haunt me later because I didn't know I had it on hot lap, as we dive down the inside of 1, 2, 3 cars, and we bit of wheel banging there, but we get the move done. We can't squabble too much with these cars because we need to try and have a go at the top cars as we dive down the inside of Kevin Magnussen, and we nearly get the move done. But coming to the next corner, you can see that I forgot that he was there, and we make a bit of contact, but we still get the move done after that. As we move on to lap number 2, you can see that Magnussen's trying to get back at us, maybe using a bit of ERS that he must have saved up, as we break a bit early and go for a textbook switchback move, and we're back on the power for the main straight. But you can see that he comes back at us yet again, and Norris is coming back at us as well, but under braking we try to get past him. We squeeze him out. We can't spend too much time squabbling with these guys, and we are up into P9, and we move on now to lap number 3. We're trying to size up a move on Alexander Albon, but we go a bit wide there as we're coming down the straight, and we brake a little bit late and we go a bit too deep, and Perez tries to get back at us. Albon has already passed us. As we open DRS for the straight, we get past Albon as he doesn't have DRS, but look at Perez zooming down the straight and into the braking zone. We brake a little bit late and we try to overtake him, and we get the job done. That is us up into P7. We get a bit on the exit curb, a bit too much at the exit, and now we move on to lap number 7, and we're back with Alexander Albon right behind us. He has DRS. We try to squeeze him to the edge of the track, but we have to give him space as he powers past us. We try to get back at him in the braking zone, but it's still not good enough. But we try to do a bit of a switchback, but he blocks us off. But we get better traction and go down the inside for the flat out next corner, and under braking we get the job done. We keep our P7 safe for now. And you can see that we're doing fairly better than Alexander Albon in the traction zones. As we move on to later that lap, he's caught back up to us, and he's looking to make a move into turn 1. Maybe, no, not yet. As we move on to the second straight, we are deploying we're deploying low ERS, and we come into this next corner. You can see from the arrows he's right behind us, not in the reds, but he is still right behind us. And as we power down the straight, he is powering more. He is going faster than us. As you can see, he comes alongside us and trying to make an overtake. As we move into the hairpin, I try to make it stick around the outside, and again in the traction zone we do better, and we keep that P7 secure. And you'll see now that even the next lap he does catch up to us in the straight, but not enough to overtake us. And you can see now that on the left front and left rear, the tire wear is worse than the right hand side. The right side of the car, but you can see Albon is getting back at us on the second straight. We brake a little bit early, try to go for a switchback, and it sort of worked out as we tighten up the line and we get DRS off Albon, and we're speeding up. But you can see Norris is behind us, but not overtaking us as we try to make a move down around the outside of the corner on Alexander Albon. We've got the move done. We're back into P7, and we keep this position secure for now. But as we move on to the next lap, you can see that he's trying to come back at us again. We don't go too defensive, we go a little bit defensive, trying to cover the inside line, but you can see tire wear is starting to hit us a bit as he gets past us. But we get DRS off him, trying to play a little bit smart there. We deploy a little bit more ERS and we power past him on the straight, but he's still there. We're still not fully into the position, but now we are secure again. But now you can see that we've been battling a bit too much because the McLaren of Lando Norris has caught up to us, and right now the F2 rivals are battling behind us. Maybe that could work out for us. Maybe they could hold each other up a bit too much, but you can see now that that doesn't work. The Red Bull gets ahead of the McLaren, and now he's all over us again. He's trying to overtake us, and then we move down to the end of the straight. Luckily, Lando Norris gets back at him using DRS and probably a bit of ERS, and they start battling each other again, but we go a bit too deep, and Albon tries to overtake us again, but you can see they're right behind us, both of the cars. As we move down to the end, as we move on to lap 13, you can see Albon tries to overtake us into turn 1, but we block him off. We survive. You can see we're hitting a lot of tire wear, but you can see from the proximity arrows that Norris has caught back up to Albon, and Albon did overtake him before and form a bit of a gap, but I guess Norris has caught up again. But right now we have our own problems to worry about with Albon, because he's trying to overtake us around the outside. We try to brake a little bit late, but it's not enough, and now we have to squeeze him out, and we keep our position secure. And now we're gonna come into the pits. We're gonna strap on some yellow wall medium tires. It's not gonna be for the rest of the race. Remember, this is a very long race. It's a 100% race, so we're gonna have a 2-stop strategy. You can see Norris comes in behind. He comes in for a stop. I honestly feel like I should have come in a lap earlier or something, because the undercut works very well on this game, and I was really hitting a lot of tire wear. But we come out in P12 behind a huge gaggle of cars, and you can see Robert Kubica overtakes us, but we re-overtake him into turn 2 as we get on the power for the long straight, and we open DRS. We put the ERS into overtake mode, and we power past our teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who's about to make a pit stop. He hasn't made his pit stop yet. As we dive down the inside of Kevin Magnussen, we push him out. We don't push him too much, we don't squeeze him too much, but we do squeeze him enough, and we're up into P10. This is a net P7 because there are a couple of cars ahead of us who haven't come in for their stop yet. But when we move on later in the lap, you can see that we're much faster than Giovinazzi on these fresh mediums, as he is on all softs, and we're all over his rear end as we go down the inside, and we make a fairly risky move. And you can see behind that Norris and Albon are right behind us. They're battling again, and when we move on to lap 18, you can see again that we're looking behind us because Albon is right there, and yet again we're looking behind us because Albon is catching up. He is in a faster car, he's in the Red Bull, and you can see we go a bit wide there, and then the proximity arrow shows that he's right behind us. As we move on to lap 20, he's sizing up a move on us. You can see that we have a little bit of wing damage because I was dumb enough to put simulation damage on, and you can see he powers past us. We try to dive down the inside, and we do squeeze him out. We leave him no space. I kind of misjudged the braking there, but we keep P7 secure again. But he comes back. He's knocking on the door. We brake a bit early. We try to go for a switchback, but he blocks us off. But we still have DRS for this straight, and we see how much ERS we have. We deploy it into high ERS, and we're closing up to him so fast, and under braking we try to overtake him, and we get the job done coming into the hairpin. And now we move on to lap number 22. He's all over us again. He's pushing us so much because I want to keep this P7 best of the rest. But see, banging wheels a bit there. He powers past with DRS, and we brake for turn 6. And you can see from the proximity arrows that there are other cars catching up to us, and again we get better traction, and into the next corner we dive down the inside and we try to take back P7, and that is the job done. But for how much longer? As we move on to lap 23, he comes knocking again, and this time we are checking for damage again. We're checking our tire wear. He powers past us, and I actually brake a bit early. I thought we could go for a switchback, but that didn't work. Then I thought, you know what, let's just let him by. We can get him on the straight next time, and then we could pull away. But you can see that he's much faster in clean air. He's in a faster car. He's on fresher tires. And then later on we'll see that it wasn't the best decision to let him by. But I didn't really know that until the long straight, because you can see I have DRS here. I'm within 1 second, and I have DRS on the next straight as well. And I thought everything was okay. I thought everything was working. But then when we go to the long straight, we are approaching the DRS zone. You can see I do not have DRS for the straight. You can see we barely missed out on DRS by 0.069 seconds, and then that was pretty much the end of it. And so things don't play into my favor, and I've lost P7. And then this radio message is confirmation for that.
The car ahead is a second a lap faster than you.
Alex Albon pulled away from us. We lost that position, but now you can see we're checking the race director, and you can see a range of different strategies here. We have quite a few 3-stops like Carlos Sainz and Valtteri Bottas and Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen. They're on different strategies, but when we move on to lap 31, you can see Sainz has caught up to us. He's on the soft tire, and you can see from the proximity arrows he has closed up to us, and you can see that in the corners also he's faster than us because he has those fresher, softer, more grippier tires. But you can see on lap 33 he was trying to make a move on us. We go a bit defensive, we block him off a little bit, and we survive for then. But at the end of that lap he's caught up to us in the corners, and he tries to make a move on us into turn 1. Luckily he doesn't do that. He doesn't overtake us yet, but we have to wait for the next straight, because we know that he is going to overtake us then, because he will have DRS. He might even use some ERS. We have a green first sector, but we have to keep our eyes out. But then Lando Norris is making a move on his teammate. Actually, they might both make a move on me. You can see on the left hand side there's Carlos Sainz trying to make a move on me around the outside. You can see there's a couple of cars behind us, and we survived that lap. But we move on to lap 35 as Carlos Sainz powers past us with the DRS flap open, and we try to get him under braking. But then Lando Norris tries to attack us, and there's someone behind us as well. I think that's Sergio Perez, and Carlos Sainz goes ahead. No point really battling him. He's on the soft tires. He's much faster. He has a bigger advantage in the corners. And so we move on to lap number 36, the next lap. You can see Norris trying to make a move on me. We get DRS from Carlos Sainz, but we're negative fuel, but we still have to use rich mix. We have to use what we have. We try to defend from Lando Norris, and we block him off all the time. You can see we are hitting a bit of tire wear here, and as we go into the hairpin, but we still survive. The McLaren of Carlos Sainz is still right there. You know, we could still overtake him, but we don't do that, as we follow him into the pits on lap 36, 4 laps earlier than when we were supposed to, because you can see we have quite a fair bit of tire wear, and I was really getting sick of these tires. So I pulled into the pits to complete my pit strategy, and to finish, and to come in for my last stop, strap on some new medium tires while Sainz puts on another pair of softs. He has a very aggressive strategy, and we come out behind Sergio Perez and ahead of Pierre Gasly, and you can see that Perez and Kvyat are battling each other quite a fair bit. Maybe they're holding each other up, and that could help us. Plus they're on worn tires. You can see we're in lean mixture because we are on red on fuel. We have less fuel than we're supposed to, and you can see in the braking we're much in the braking zone we're much better than them, and even with the traction we're better than them, especially because they have worn tires, as I said. And you can see we really need to get past these guys. Bit of dirty air kicking in right there. We really need to get past them because Carlos Sainz has put a few cars between me and him, which would really help him out and not help me out. But we move on to the end of lap 37 going to lap 38. We get DRS of Danny Kvyat, and we're gonna try and get past him. As we go to turn 1, we're much more confident on these tires. The car feels much more planted with these fresh tires. The tires are warmed up, and we would have made a dive down the inside, but with simulation damage on, I don't want to take those kind of risks. I don't want to take too much risk. But we get DRS again. We try to see if we have enough ERS, but you can see we've saved up a lot of fuel. So we go into rich mix, go around the outside as Danny Kvyat goes a bit defensive, and we get the job done around the outside. We should be saving, yeah, we start saving a bit of fuel now. And you can see Valtteri Bottas, he puts a 1:16, 1 minute 16.3, which is incredibly fast. When you look at our personal best, is a 1:19.2. But we move on. We're trying to get past Kimi Räikkönen, Alfa Romeo. He hasn't come in for a stop yet, and we get on the gravel a little bit. But now, coming down the main straight, we have DRS of Perez. We go into turn 1 again, taking it very confidently because we're feeling so much better on these tires. We are on standard fuel mixture. We increase the ERS a bit. The dirty air kicking in a little bit over there, and we get back on the power for the long straight. We keep it in high ERS. We put it into overtake. We activate DRS as we have DRS from Perez. And now we're going into really low ERS, and Perez goes a bit defensive, but not enough. As we dive down the inside, we make a bit of contact, but we still get the move done. And you can see we're trying to size up a move on Romain Grosjean, the Haas, and we have a bit of wing damage from that tussle with Perez, but we can't make the overtake on Grosjean just yet. But on the main straight, we have low ERS, medium ERS, but we have DRS open, and that's enough. Bit of wheel banging as we go down the inside into the hairpin. He does try to get back at us under braking, but it's not enough for him, and we're up into P10, and you can see Stroll pulling into the pits on lap 41, a lap after we were supposed to come in the pits, but we came a bit early. And now you can see we're up into P8, and again, there's just so much confidence with these new tires. And you can see Carlos Sainz up ahead. We've caught back up to him. He might be hitting a bit of tire wear, since those soft tires aren't exactly the most durable compound. They're not the most durable compound. And you can see we are catching up to him. We get a bit too excited, we go a bit deep, but not enough to hinder our performance too much. But then we move on to lap number 48, the next lap, and you can see Sainz pulls into the pits. His aggressive strategy, he's using an aggressive strategy. He's coming into the pits again, and now Lando Norris is the car behind us. I don't think that strategy worked out too well, and we get a bit excited again. We touch the grass a little bit as we're back up into P7.
The car behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
You can see Jeff was giving us a big confidence boost there with some facts. And we move on to lap number 59. And there's Sebastian Vettel. The Ferrari, who's leading, is going to lap us now. In the last few laps of the race, German on German. Of course, Nico Hülkenberg is German, so is Sebastian Vettel. Now you can see on the straight, he's going to use that Ferrari engine and DRS to lap us now. He's gonna go on the right hand side. I don't put up a fight because he is in a much faster car. He is lapping me. I'm not gonna put up a fight, but then you can see in the exit of the corner he blocks us off a little, and then I look behind and I see Norris is right there, and I formulate a plan. I thought, why don't we tag along with him? You know, why don't we allow him to bring us with him and pull away? But then you can see I have to brake a little bit early for that corner, and he just pulls away in the Queen Air. He's in a much faster car. Nothing's gonna happen. He doesn't crash out at that corner either in his own Grand Prix. And so we move on to lap number 61. There's only a few laps to go, and then you look ahead, you can see we are about to lap the Williams of Robert Kubica. That's how slow the Williams is. We are about to lap him, and Sebastian Vettel has lapped him twice now, I'm pretty sure. But we move on to lap number 64. We actually didn't lap him yet, but then Lando Norris is trying to go up our inside, and he's trying to overtake us. But then actually that's not Lando Norris, that's the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, who's actually, now he's a lap ahead of us now. I thought that was Lando Norris, but it wasn't, and we get DRS off him using rich mix medium ERS, and we go past him. Although I shouldn't be fighting him too much, we do manage to go past him in the straight, and we squeeze him out, but then Lando Norris comes into the mix for real this time. But the Ferrari comes out on top, asserting its dominance on the midfield cars. As we move on to lap number 65, there are 2 more laps to go, not including this one, and you can see Charles Leclerc coming back at us, the Ferrari, and we try to go for a switchback, but it doesn't work out. But we do get DRS off him. We put the ERS into high, and we try to gain some time upon him. But you're going to see that he actually tries to lap Robert Kubica for the second time. He's going on the outside. We really close up to them in the braking zone, but a bit too much. And then Lando Norris tries to have a look down the inside, but doesn't work out for him. And now we're going to finally lap Robert Kubica down the inside. We go with a much faster car. We get past him, and I try to use the same tactic as I wanted to use for Sebastian Vettel, to pull along with Charles Leclerc, but it obviously doesn't work. And we move on to lap 66, the second last lap of this Grand Prix. You can see from Jeff's radio messages that Lando Norris is starting to drop back, and we actually looked behind and we saw that Robert Kubica was holding him up. Actually, our plan didn't work for tagging along with Charles Leclerc, as the Ferrari tries to overtake the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, who we might be able to lap, but we don't. And you can see that Robert Kubica was holding up Lando Norris and was helping us. And a gap was forming. Things were looking so good, even though it was the second last lap of the race, and there was no real time for Norris to actually overtake me. Robert Kubica was still delaying him and holding him up, and you can see from the proximity arrows that they are close, but they are battling. And then Sebastian Vettel, the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel, wins the race. The German wins his home Grand Prix, and we come across the line to finish in P7, best of the rest. It's been 66 laps of racing, and let's watch the podium ceremony.
Well, what a drive that was to take the win for Ferrari today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I'd say it was down once again to good, consistent driving, nailing the corners, working to the track conditions and perfecting the team's strategies. They got all of these things right today, and the results speak for themselves.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Nico Hülkenberg did an excellent job out on the track today. He played aggressively and knew exactly when to capitalise on openings throughout the race.
Well, Ants, an end to another
Well, I think we can call that a successful German Grand Prix tribute. You can see that Anthony Davidson thinks so as well. And we're looking at the results of the other drivers. Daniel Ricciardo finishes in P17. And that is the end of this German Grand Prix tribute. Thank you so much for watching this race. Be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Then you'll know when a new video comes out on the channel. Stay updated for more Formula 1 content. For written Formula 1 content, you can go to F1ntastic.com. This is F1ntastic Gaming.